All right, everybody. Welcome back to another virtual Jiu-Jitsu fundamentals class. I hope you're as excited as Mira is for it. Highlight of her day. So,
Highlight.
And thank you for bearing with us. This is our first class that we've done at a 4 o'clock weekday slot. We've been bouncing around our schedules. I'm sure everybody is sort of rolling with the punches, so to speak, right now. And I hope this 4 o'clock time works pretty well. We're going to try it today and Thursday of this week, and probably the same things for next week as well. So thank you for bearing with us, and hope you guys, can make the class. And we're going to switch up our material a little bit. We've been working on a lot of escapes from some bad positions, and we're going to switch things up and go into some guard passing today. And guard passing is something that is a huge part of jiu-jitsu, and I would venture to say is one of the most difficult things to do in jiu-jitsu. That's a message I've received from my coaches ever since I was kind of brand new white belt and just getting started, that 80% of jiu-jitsu is the battle between either maintaining or passing the guard, and that in general trying to pass the guard of a good jiu-jitsu player is one of the hardest things to do in jiu-jitsu. And I agree with that, having done it for a little while now. Guard passing is pretty tough. And so we're just going to look at some of the most fundamental aspects of it today. Not going to get too crazy or anything like that. But let's get going. Let's get our hands on it. So with guards, you have a few varieties of guards that we can talk about. There's mostly going to be 3 different ones that I would say. And the main one we're going to work on for today is a closed guard. So if Mira's on her back, So closed guard, and again, the intended audience for this might be somebody that doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to give a quick little once over. So we're here, and she has her ankles crossed. All right, and so that the camera can see with me, you guys can see she has her ankles crossed right here. Okay, so this is closed guard. Another guard option is a half guard, where if she unlocks her legs, and what she's going to do is only trap one of my legs here. Okay, so she's got one of my legs trapped, but my other leg is free. It's not trapped. So that's our half guard. And then another type would be an open guard. And there's a bunch of open guards, but basically an open guard is where she's going to use her feet or her knees as a barrier against me to stop me from getting past her legs. However, she's not going to actually wrap her legs and lock her legs around me in the same way that she did with the closed guard and with the half guard. So 3 different types. You can subdivide them into a gajillion different sorts of things, but those are our 3 basics: closed guard, half guard, and our open guard. Yeah. And what we're going to start with is closed guard. I think that's the most iconic position within jiu-jitsu, and it's something that we always start with our fundamentals classes. And so if I find myself in Mira's closed guard, the first thing that I want to try to do is get some posture. Okay? What she wants is to have me broken down. Ideally, she wants me to be in a range where her hand can easily make a grip on the back of my neck. And this is bad news for me. I don't want to be here. Okay? I want to try to clear that off of there and and try to stay out of the danger range. I also don't want to have my hands on the mat. We've learned a lot of submissions already that the bottom player can do to you if our hands are on the mat as the top player. And so it's pretty important that I try to only have my hands on my partner, and I never put my hands on the mat to the best degree possible. Okay? So go ahead and relax your legs for a second. Just slide over. So the posture I'm looking for, there's a detail that's going to be helpful to see with Mira off to the side. And so what I'm looking to do is get my head up and out of range while keeping my balance as sturdy as possible, and trying to make it as difficult as I can for her to break me back down, because that's what she wants. She wants me to get broken back down, put my hands on the mat, and be able to control my posture. So there's a movement we're going to do with our hips that's pretty important. If we think about your tailbone here, If I try to push my tailbone backwards and lift my chest up like this, I have really bad balance from this position. I have pretty poor posture. So instead, what I want to do is I want to kind of tuck my tail under me and sit low, almost with like a sunken chest, almost like this. I don't have to exaggerate my chest dropping, but the tailbone tucking under is going to be very important. And you'll see when we pull Mira back in here, it's going to be harder for her to control me when I tuck that tailbone under. So if we bring Mira back, we'll put the closed guard on. Okay, so she's got her closed guard. So if I'm here, right, and I have kind of big chest and my tailbone is sticking out, if she tries to pull her knees to her chest, go ahead, she's going to break my posture down very easily. Okay? However, if I start to tuck my tail in and she tries to pull her knees to her chest, she should find a lot of difficulty there. Okay? It should be a completely different experience for her. Okay, let's show one more time. So my tail is out, my chest is up. She pulls, breaks me down. Okay? I tuck my tail. She tries to pull. Pretty much, there's no dice there. It's not going to happen. Okay, so that's one really good component. You can see it's harder for her to break my posture down. Go ahead and walk your legs again. Okay. Another component is if she starts with her butt on the mat, right? And this might be hard to see. I'll try to keep my hands out of the way so it doesn't block your view. As I start to tuck my tail and she keeps a tight grip, her hips lift off of the mat. Okay, her hips lift up. So what her hips are doing are as I'm tucking my tail, I'm kind of moving her knees and her ankles, and her hips have to follow. And so if in theory, if I pin her hips down, and then I start to tuck my tail, her guard opens. She can't keep it closed anymore. You see how I kind of curled my back, and I tucked my tail under. Let's look at this one more time. So I'm here. I'm going to push down on her hip pointers. I feel her hip pointers in the palms of my hands. You know, one hand to one hip pointer. And then I'm going to tuck my tail and curl my back, and she's going to have a lot of difficulty keeping her guard closed, and then I can start working on passing the guard. Okay? So that's a pretty simple way to go about it. And it's a lot easier said than done. Let's turn this way. A lot easier said than done when they're resisting. So what we're going to do is talk about my favorite way to open the closed guard and start to pass against an opponent that is resisting, because if I just stay down on my knees, it's going to be really hard to do this stuff. Okay? We'll let Mira get her hair situation dialed in. Already. Okay. So she's going to close her guard up. Okay. So it's much easier to break open the closed guard if I try to stand up to break open the closed guard compared to trying to do it from the floor. What I just did from the floor, it works, but it's really hard against an uncooperative opponent. When I have an uncooperative opponent, much easier if I stand up to do it. Okay. So what I want to try to do is I want to try to control her arm, at least one of her arms, so that when I step up, she can't get my leg. I don't want to give her an easy grip under my leg, because then she can start to trip me over and things like that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to control her arm, and I'm going to control it with both my hands, and I'm going to pin her arm to the knot on her belt. Make sure your ankles are crossed tight. Okay? And on that same side, I'm going to step up that foot, because now she can't make a grip on that arm or on that leg. She can't use her arm to get it. Okay? Now, once I've got one foot up, then the other one can come up, and now I'm in a pretty good position right here. Okay? And what I like to do from here is I'm going to keep the cross grip. So my right arm is going to hold her right arm, and I'm going to start to push on the inside of her knee and kind of shake and push this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push her leg until her leg lands on my foot. Okay? I'm going to do this again from another angle so you guys can see. But you see how I kept this grip. My right hand holds her right hand, and I'm pushing her leg until it lands on my foot. Okay? We'll do the same move from another angle over here. Okay? So I'm going to control both of my hands onto hers. This arm is now controlled, so I can step up here and she can't get me. Then I'm going to step up and in a good sort of kettlebell swing or deadlift-esque position right here, I'm going to reach to the inside of her knee, shimmy and shake, and I'm going to push it until her knee lands on my foot right there. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pin that leg down. So my foot is sort of trapping it, and I should be in range to come get her head from right here. So she's starting to get pretty stuck. And one of the most important things is that there's no way that she can cross her legs from here. There's no way at all. Okay? Let's spin this way a little bit. So you guys can see there's no way she can cross her legs. They're way too far apart. So I've got to control under her head. And now this arm is going to reach and it's going to get this leg and scoop it up. Okay? And if she's fighting hard, I can apply some pressure. I can feel her groin muscles kind of get tight now. And then I can escape out and finish my pass with what we call an overpass. It's one of the first passes we typically learn in jiu-jitsu. Okay? So I'll show maybe one more time, and then we'll have Mira give it a try on me. If you guys have any questions about this, or there's any angles you want to see or anything like that, pop them into the chat, and we'll answer those in real time here in the class. So we'll go back to closed guard. We'll face this way for this rep. All right, so I get her arm and I pin her arm to her belt. Step up on the same side, then the other side. Shimmy, shake, and I push her leg all the way down to where it lands on my foot. Then I come down, I'll go slow, obviously, with Mira here. But I want to get under her head, and this leg, I'm actually going to keep up. Okay, I'm going to keep this up and kind of controlling her leg here. Okay? I'm going to try to put my shoulder into her jaw to make her face turn and look at the camera. Just make sure you don't mess up your wife's eyelashes when you do this. Okay, so just a little bit there. Then I'm going to reach back like this, and I'm going to try to get my bicep on her inner thigh area like this. Okay? She should find it very difficult to move her legs very much. She should feel really stuck. Okay? And if I want to, I can apply a little pressure. I can feel her legs stretch, and she's even very flexible, and I still can make it a big stretch for her. And then I step out, and I finish my pass, good chest-to-chest position. I like to take this out and go to a different spot. I don't like to keep that arm in between the legs if I can help it. Okay? So kind of a lot of moving parts, but let's walk Mira through it. And if you guys are following along at home, then go ahead and trade partners right now too. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that Mira can get that proper posture and get that tailbone tuck position. Okay? So here we go. So let's run through both examples. So first one, if she lifts her chest up and sticks her tail out, she'll be ready to catch it with her hands so you don't face plant. Okay? And I pull my knees to my chest. Let's look at that one more time. It's like impossible for her to keep her balance. Okay? And now Mira's going to tuck her tail underneath of her. Yes, like this. This feels perfect. And I try to pull, and even though I'm bigger and stronger than Mira, it's really hard for her to, really hard for me, to break her posture down from here. So while maintaining this, she's going to pin my arm to the knot of my belt. Okay? She's going to squeeze my arm pretty tight to have good control. Then her left leg steps up, and after her left leg, then her right leg. Good. And she leans on me, butt higher, lean on me to keep control of that arm. Perfect. This feels great. So this arm keeps its grip, and the other arm goes and pushes my knee down to the floor. Once it's on the floor, and she's done this correctly, I can feel that she made my leg land on her foot. She's going to come into a position where her knee comes to the mat, so she pins my leg. And try to keep the leg pinned with your instep more. Higher up on my leg. Yeah, right there. Okay. And now she's going to try to use this arm to get the cross face. Okay. So underneath of my head, and so her bicep kind of crushes my jaw. Okay? Now this knee's pointed up to the ceiling, and it helps keep my leg high. It's like my leg is on a shelf. And while the leg is on the shelf, she's going to use this arm to scoop it. Yep, scoop it up. Okay? And she's going to use the pressure to push my leg that way a little bit with your bicep. Yep, that way. And now she's going to escape her leg the other way. Oh, no, that way. Oh. And then she's past the guard. Okay? All right, let's do it all again. All right, so she's gonna make sure her butt is low and her tail is tucked. Once she's there, we're having a match. She's trying to control this and pin my arm, okay? She's gonna kind of lean on that to help her get up. So she's gonna put her weight onto it a little bit, lean on it to help her get up. Straight arms the whole time. Yep, there you go. There you go, okay? She keeps a grip with one arm and pushes my leg down to a 4 with the other, and then she pins it with her leg. She's trying to make the pin happen right around my knee to lower thigh area. Okay, but don't slide to my shin. Yeah, right up there. Okay, keep the other leg up. Yes. And then she's gonna get this cross face and try to smush me. So in a real match, she's trying to just absolutely smush the crap out of me right here. Okay. Now this leg is gonna get scooped up by her arm. Yes. And now what she's gonna do is really put all of her weight into her left shoulder and smash me, so her right leg can step backwards and get out. All the way out. Yep, and she keeps driving in and smashing me. Yes, exactly, just like that. So that last little component can be a little bit tricky of how to extract your leg out of there. And there's a couple different ways that we can do it. And so let's take a look at this. So what I'm gonna have Mira do is lay about this way with her head over on the far side. Right about there. Actually, let's too far from the camera. Okay. So we're in a position, right? I've got her leg pinned. I have her other leg up. She's usually going to be trying to turn and face me, right? So she's trying to pick up her left shoulder and her left hip bone off of the floor. So there's a couple ways I can do it. One is called a back step, where I'm going to step out like this, and then I'm going to free that leg. Okay? So we can back step out of it. The back step requires you to put a lot of shoulder pressure into your partner. With the size difference with Mira and I, and the fact that I don't want her to be mad at me, I'm probably not going to do that one right now. But it is a good way. It's a very good way to do it. Okay, so the back step is one way. Way two is we can sort of do a windshield wiper motion. Okay, so a windshield wiper is going to be where, yeah, perfect. You guys can see. So a windshield wiper, my left foot is currently pinning her foot. So what I'm going to do with a windshield wiper is I'm going to move my right foot to pin it, then get my left one out of it. And now once my left is out of there, but her leg is still pinned, now I can get my whole leg out of there. Okay, let's look at that one more time. All right. So my left leg is pinning, and of course that would be in strong chest-to-chest pressure here. So my left leg is pinning. What I'm going to do, I'm going to flick this in so I have both of my legs pinning hers. Okay, my ankles happen to be crossed right now, but that's not necessary. Right? I just need to pin it somewhere along the way. And then I do a quick switch. So now my left leg is all the way out. It's not touching her leg anymore. It just is only my leg like this. Okay? And then I keep my foot on the outside, and then I switch my knee to the outside, and so now I'm all the way out. Okay? So that's way number two. And then way number three is a knee cut. And so we go down again, same position, and this is kind of similar to the windshield wiper. And what we're going to do here, so I start with the same position like before, and what I'm going to do for the knee cut is I'm going to lift up and I'm just going to slide my leg out, and we're just going to slide all the way through together. Okay, I'll show that with all of the other grip attachments here. So again, Mira's trying to turn and face me. Right, I've got my controls here. Right, makes it hard for her to turn and face me even when she's trying to. And so I'm going to raise my hips up, slide my leg out, and then I'm into a good pin. Right there. Okay. So now we'll have Mira try those so she can get her hands on it. And this will probably be the last part of the class. And so if you guys have any questions, make sure to get them into the chat right now. So I'll lay on my back. So Mira's going to pin my leg with her leg. Okay, right about there. She's going to scoop up my leg with her arm. And very important, she has this arm underneath of me. Okay, so let's look at the back step first. So for the back step, she needs to balance her whole entire body weight into her shoulder, which means that it's going to go into my neck and my jaw. Okay. Yep, and then she picks up her leg and does a big step over her other one. And now it's out. And then she can square up chest to chest and get her pin. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Again, this is the back step. The big key is that she has to put all of her weight into her shoulder. If her butt touches the mat with this one, it's not going to work. Okay, it's going to be ineffective. So she's got to put all her weight into her shoulder so that her butt never touches the mat, even when her foot lands. Okay, so she's going to put all of her weight into her shoulder. She's not going to let her butt touch the mat. She's just going to high step over, land on her foot only, keep all her pressure into me. Yeah, that's a good back step. I felt the pressure the whole time there. All right, so that's the key detail on the back step is she's got to keep all her pressure on me and never let her butt hit. Okay, so now let's look at the windshield wiper next. So same start position for all of these. Okay, so windshield wiper. So what she's going to do is briefly put both feet into the pin on my leg. Then she'll escape her left foot. And after her left foot is out, then her knee is out. Good. So yeah, this one's great. It doesn't involve big motions. If you're somebody that's not super agile, you don't consider yourself quick or fast, this one works really, really well. Okay, let's do one more time. So she gets the pressure, she gets my leg, okay? So she pins with both legs for a second. That's the windshield wiper part. Then she flicks out her first foot, and then her knee comes out, and now she's all the way out of it into the guard pass. Okay? And our very last one will be the knee cut. Okay, I'm going to angle just a little this way. Okay, so she gets into the position. Okay. So what's going to happen here, there's a small space. It's not a big space, but there's a small space between her left knee and my body. Okay, it's not a big space, but it's there. There's a little bit of a space. So what she's going to do is try to smash me with her grips and her chest pressure so her butt can come up a little bit, and then her right knee is going to go in that space. And then she slides all the way through until she's escaped my legs, and now she's got the pass. Okay, let's look one more time. Again, she's leaving just a little bit of a space between her left knee and my hip bone. And once she gets her grips, she's going to really put all of her weight into my chest, and she's going to make her knee go into that little space. And then once she's out, she's going to try to smash me with her chest again and square her hips down to the floor. Yep, just like that. Now I feel all of her pressure. 3 points from Mira. So, all right, guys. So that'll more or less do it for us for today. If you have any last minute questions, pop them into the chat. Mira, do you have any questions?
No, that's a lot.
It's a lot of info. Guard passing is difficult. So, all right. Well, if you have any questions you think of after the fact, let us know. And then we'll pick up with our guard passing on Thursday at 4 o'clock again. So thanks, guys. We'll see you then.
How many of you